Hi, my name is Gabriella Novak, and I will be discussing the film The Best of Me with you. After this presentation, you will be able to know and understand the many different communication elements that were used by the characters of the film The Best of Me. I hope that with further information regarding their communication skills will help people to understand why the characters in the film took specific actions. The plot of this film is based about two high school sweethearts that are reunited over the death of a mutual friend. They are both in the will of their friend and are required to spend time together. They quickly realize that they both still have feelings for one another, and they relive some of their old memories, both the good and the bad. The setting of The Best of Me takes place in multiple different towns in southern Louisiana, mainly a cabin in Vladimir, their hometown outside of New Orleans, and Baton Rouge, where Amanda lives. Additionally, it takes place in two different time periods. The movie takes place in the summer of 2013 and flashes back to 1992. The main characters are Dawson Cole as an adult, then young Dawson, and Amanda Collier as an adult and young Amanda. According to Rasmussen College, a channel refers to the medium in which the message is sent to the sender and to the receiver. In this film, a channel is used while an old friend of Amanda and Dawson's, named Tuck, dies. He has them both written in his will, and he wrote them each a separate letter as well. Although Tuck is gone, he has created a way to get a message to them. With using both a written will and the letters, Tuck will be able to use a channel to pass along his last wishes and advice to them both. A shared meaning is when you speak with a friend and she tells you of an experience that she recently had. You are able to understand her experience because you have a shared meaning of the words and symbols that she uses to describe the experience, according to Rasmussen College in 2019. An example from the film of a shared meaning is when Tuck, young Amanda, and young Dawson are eating dinner on the porch and they discuss their different views on destiny. Amanda feels that the way that she and Dawson met was destiny. Dawson doesn't agree. Tuck shares a story about when he was at war and when he was injured and laying in the water. A song came into his head and reassured him that everything would be all right. Later, his wife said that around that same time she had a dream about singing that song to him. Tuck says he isn't sure what that's called, but it reminded him of destiny. Communication is purposeful, we communicate for a reason. The primary goal of communication is to share meaning and to connect with other people, says Kathy Soul, the author of Making Connections and Understanding Interpersonal Communications. In the movie, Dawson decides to stop talking to Amanda. He feels that he is a burden and that this will be the best for Amanda. They go 20 some years without talking to one another, but they never stop loving each other. This is a key example of why communication is so purposeful. Those are 20 years of their lives that they could have been together. Instead, they just wondered about each other all the time and didn't communicate at all. According to Rasmussen College, perception is the process of acquiring, interpreting, and organizing information that is received through your senses. Throughout the beginning of the film, Dawson shows that his perception of himself is not very high. He does not believe that he should go to college and figures that he won't be able to do anything other than follow on with the family business. Rasmussen College says that self-esteem consists of your sense of self-worth and the level of satisfaction you have with yourself. His self-esteem is low because he feels that he will never amount to anything more than the family drug business. However, Amanda views Dawson differently. She believes that he is smart, kind, and he has potential to become very successful. After Dawson is with Amanda for a while, his self-esteem begins to increase and he begins to have higher hopes for his future. There are different levels of listening that happen in the film. In one scene, Dawson is sentenced to 8 years in jail and Amanda visits him every day. Dawson feels that this is no place for a senior in high school to spend her time and tries to make the best decision for her by suggesting that they don't talk again. The listening skills that Dawson used within this scene is remembering and responding appropriately, which means not be afraid to ask questions if you need clarification. Dawson has a specific view on the situation and was not in any place to be easily swayed by Amanda's views. With using the skills of remembering and responding appropriately, he is with his views that he will be able to decide that what he felt necessary to provide Amanda, the love of his life, with the best option for her future. Although Dawson did not portray the best listening skills within this scene, he was trying to do right by Amanda. There were many barriers that Dawson used within this scene as well. The one that was the most prominent to the viewer, I feel, was interrupting, which according to Rasmussen College means interrupting a speaker because you want to make your point. The scene includes Dawson interrupting to Amanda multiple times, and in the end, with him choosing to ignore her and to carry out his views of the situation for the whole year that she visited him. Amanda tries to overcome this barrier, and as she continued to visit Dawson every day for a month, and then every week for a year. All the while, to no avail, he never spoke to her again. I would suggest to her to never give up. As difficult as it can be, I feel like that would be the only way that this obstacle would have been able to be overcome. If I wanted to give advice to Dawson, I would tell him to have faith in the ones he loves. I would let him know that despite all the pain and the trauma that his family brought him in the past, that it's okay and even necessary to become vulnerable to the one that you love. Now, the culture of this film takes place in a southern Louisiana town. The town's culture separates and segregates people who are within different social classes. The background that Amanda and Dawson come from are two completely different outlooks, thoughts, and values on life. The two main characters come from two completely different families. The Collier family is wealthy, privileged, and more proper, while the Cole family is poor, involved in drug trade, abusive, and do not create a very loving environment. Amanda was raised by a very proper family. They taught her to be studious and that she will be attending college. Dawson was raised in a abusive household who did not value school, family, or much of anything other than themselves. Dawson chose to try to change the path that his family was leading him on. He wanted to go to school and do something better for himself. There were three elements that were concerned with culture that I saw throughout the film. The first element that was very prominent within the film was the different subcultures that there was within the different characters. Subculture is defined as regional, economic, social, religious, or ethnic groups that exert an influence in the society, according to Kathy Soul. It was made clear within the film that the two main characters originated from two widely different subcultures. The second element that I noticed was stereotype. Kathy Soul states that stereotypes are defined as fixed opinions or personifications about someone based on a perceived characteristic. There were many elements throughout the film that indicated that Dawson and the rest of the Cole family were dangerous and not liked within the town. Another element within the film that played a prominent role was normative. Normative means to provide rules and regulations to govern society and how others act with the other people within the society. So, according to Kathy Soul, throughout the scene within the film, when Amanda and Dawson are younger, they are talking about schooling. Amanda makes many assumptions that the only way to get ahead and do anything with your life would be to go to school. Verbal communication is something that is used in pretty much any movie. In The Best of Me, there is a scene where young Amanda and Dawson are getting to know one another on the first date. Dawson does not want to go anywhere public, so he takes her to his spot on top of the water tower. As they sit on top of the water tower, they are discussing their lives and their different views on many things. At one point throughout their conversation, Amanda brings up the subject of college and tells Dawson where she plans to attend and in turn asks him what his plans are. Dawson says, I don't know, it's just not something I can do right now. And Amanda responds with, is it something you want to do? And Dawson replies, why do you care? Amanda says, why won't you answer? Dawson says, you are going to be a really good lawyer someday. And Amanda says, do you want to go? Yes or no? Dawson says no, and Amanda says, you're a bad liar. Throughout the course, the lesson content regarding the differences between women and men's speech styles, I was able to correlate the signs that both Amanda and Dawson showed within their gender speech styles. For example, women will invest in the conversational or sometimes maintenance work by working to sustain conversation by inviting others to speak and prompting them to elaborate, according to Rasmussen College in 2019.